All Souls Day commemorates all souls, the holy souls or the faithful departed. That is, the souls of Christians who have died. Observant Christians typically remember deceased relatives on this day. The official name for the celebration in Roman Rite liturgy is the Commemoration of the Faithful Departed. In some countries, the celebration is known as the Day of the Dead. Faithful departed may gain indulgence, either plenary or partial indulgence, if the living perform certain acts and meet the specified requirements. In divine worship, the missal, the minor propers, are those used for Renaissance and classical musical requiem settings, including the Dies Irae. This permits the performance of traditional requiem settings in the context of the divine worship. Form of the Roman Rite on All Souls Day, as well as the funeral votive celebrations of all the faithful departed and anniversaries of the dead. All Souls Day is a holy day set aside for honoring the dead. The day is primarily celebrated in the Catholic Church, but it is also celebrated in the Eastern Orthodox Church and a few other denominations of Christianity. According to Catholic belief, the soul of the person who dies can go to one of three places. The first is heaven, where a person who dies in a state of perfect grace and communion with God goes. The second is hell, where those who die in a state of mortal sin are naturally condemned by their choice. The intermediate option is purgatory, which is where most people free of mortal sin but still in a state of lesser venial sin must go. Purgatory is necessary so that souls can be cleansed and perfected before they enter into heaven. Consistent with these teachings and traditions, Catholics believe that though the prayers of the faithful on earth, the dead are cleansed of their sins so that they may enter into heaven. The belief in purgatory has not been without controversy, so here to talk about this is Mr. Bo. Hello, Mr. Bo. What can you tell us about these controversies?
Hello. Certainly.
Some flagrant abuses of the doctrine were used to raise money for the church during the Renaissance. Famously, Martin Luther argued with the monk Johann Tetzel over the sale of indulgences. Indulgences were sold as spiritual pardons to the poor and applied to the souls of the dead or the living to get people into heaven. The abuse of indulgences and the blatant, sometimes fraudulent practice of selling indulgences for money led to Luther's protest.
So then what did Martin Luther do after?
When Martin Luther translated the Bible into German, he omitted the 7 books of the canon, which refer to the prayers for the dead. He then introduced the heretical belief that people are simply saved or not, and argued that there is no need to pray for the dead to get them into heaven. The church reeled from Luther's accusation and reformed its practice of selling indulgences. However, it re-emphasized the biblical and traditional practice of praying for the departed and the importance of such prayers.
You need to know that All Souls Day is celebrated in much of the Western world on November 2nd. Other rites have their own celebrations. The Eastern Orthodox Church has several such days throughout the year, mostly on Saturdays. All Souls Day is not a holy day of obligation. It should not be confused with All Saints Day, which is a holy day of obligation.
Yes, many cultures also mark the day differently. In North America, Americans may say extra prayers or light candles for the departed. In parts of Latin America, families visit the graves of their ancestors and sometimes leave food offerings for the departed.
We may also see the similar practices back home in India or Sri Lanka, where people leave out food for the faithful departed, which is not the right practice at all, because we as Catholics believe in eternal rest with Jesus. Therefore, when we bury the dead, we believe they've already moved on from earth. That was very informative, Mr. Bo. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, that's all we have for you today at Take 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that bell icon for future notifications. And don't forget to catch the latest episode of Reasonably Catholic out this Thursday. Until next week, bye!